Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
Okay, so find a comfortable seated position. For this seat particularly, since we're going to be here and we're going to tuning in and listening, any way that you can sit so that you feel really super comfortable and you don't have to effort too much in your seat, even if that means you lay down onto your back. So if sitting like this is always just a little bit of a job, maybe you lay down on your back. But if you feel comfortable, take a second to work out all those little wiggles. And then right away, as you start to settle in, just kind of tune in and notice the sounds around you, which would mean the sound of my voice coming from your screen, the sounds of the room that you're in, maybe just even slightly outside of the room that you're in. So as you take another moment here just to kind of tune in and listen, so there's no need to name anything or set your focus on a particular sound, but start to just allow the sounds to come in to meet your ears. And then see if you can start to allow your focus of listening in to come a little closer to your body. And if your hands are resting on your knees or your thighs, start by just sort of rubbing or brushing your hands against your knees or against your thighs. And then you're just going to tune in and see if you can listen to just that gentle brushing sound of your hand against the fabric of your clothes. So once you've got that going on, if you can, close your eyes down for just a minute and tune in and listen. And then changing that brushing or rubbing sensation, now we're going to take it into a little pat. So you're going to just lightly take your palms in your hands and just do a little pat, 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 pat around your knees or around your thighs. And it's more to listen rather than to create sensation. So you go as gentle or as forceful as feels right to you. Beautiful. Take one more little pat, 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 and then we're going to flip the palms so the palms are facing up. And now we're going to brush the fingertips against each other. So thumbs against the fingertips, brush your fingers, and then I'll get really quiet to see if you can listen into that sound. And now we're going to take our fingers, so whatever fingers you use to snap, we're going to take our snappy fingers and we're going to start to snap around our ears. So pick your hands up and just do a little bit of snapping around your ears. And then I'm going to stop snapping this hand just because it's right in the microphone. And now we're going to direct our hearing. So you're going to snap one side and then the other. So you're going to alternate between the two and allow your ears to work one side and then the other. One more little snap here. And when we think about our hearing, when you're ready, just let your hands float down, relax your situation, soften your shoulders, just take a second to come back to that more meditative seat. When we're talking about hearing and the connection to the chakra system, it's connected to the throat chakra or to that idea of communication. So think of the sound you make and the sound you take in are all connected in some really beautiful way. So for that being said, we're going to take it into a little bit of a hum. So we're going to take 3 humming exhales. So just take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let out a nice low hum. Nice deep breath in, as deep as you can take. And as you exhale, let out a little humming sound. One more nice full breath in. And this time, as you get your humming exhale, imagine you're humming the word ham. So H-A-M. So imagine that you're exhaling and humming the word ham. And then as you finish that last humming exhale, just take a moment to let everything get quiet again. And then when you're ready, we're just going to start with a light little turn of the head side to side. So you're just going to imagine you're looking over one shoulder and then the other. Take it nice and slow, just allowing the skull to pivot on your spine. But then as you start to find this work here, notice any sounds that may occur. Are there any clicking noises? Do you hear any movement in your mouth? Do you hear movement in your inner ear? There's no right or wrong, but just notice. One more little turn of the head side to side, and then we're going to take it into some tick-tock. So we're dropping ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Same thing here. Start to tune in and notice any sounds that may occur. One more tick-tock each side, and then we're going to take it into some nods of the head up and down. So lifting the chin up and tucking the chin down. You take this work at the depth that feels right to you. So you just go as far as feels comfortable. Take a moment to notice the sounds, but we're going to do a nice smooth transition. So we're going to keep the head moving up and down, noticing any sounds that are being made. And then when you're ready, you're going to move it right into a seated cat-cow. So the next time you lift your chin, you're going to lift your heart, arch your back, and then round your back and tuck your chin in. And then find that nice smooth transition, moving right into that next bit of work. But then start to tune in and notice any sounds that may have changed. Beautiful. One more little seated cat-cow, and then we're going to take it into an easy seated forward fold. So the next time you find a slightly tall and neutral spine, walk yourself out. So think hip hinge and just walk yourself out to a nice little depth that feels good, tuning in and noticing how your knees feel, tuning and noticing how your back feels and your butt feels. And then once you found a fairly comfortable position, come back to your breath. Take a nice deep breath in, just notice the sound of your breath. Nice slow breath out and notice the sound of your exhale. 2 more cycles of breath. Staying with that easy seated fold, but now we're going to walk off to one side. So just a little bit of a side angle, walk out just as far as feels good. Notice the side of your body, notice the side of your ribs. Notice any sounds that get made as you walk your hands across your floor, and then come back to your breath. Nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, walk through center. Notice the sounds you make as you walk. Come over and across to the other side. And then come back to the breath. Nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk back to your center point, and now we're going to push into the fingers, and then as we come up, we're going to drag the hands. But as you drag your hands, you're going to tune in and notice the sounds that it gets made as you do that. So press into your fingertips, pull your abdominal muscles in, drag your fingers, notice the sound. And then swim your hands behind the back. Nice tall lifted heart, squeeze between the shoulder blades, lift your chest, lift your gaze, take a nice big breath in. Lovely. And then when you're ready, release that gentle back bend, lean into your sits bones so you can swing your legs out. We're going to start with some light little windshield wipers, and then kind of tune in and notice, how do your hips feel? How do your thighs feel? How does the side of your butt feel? And maybe even notice how your butt feels connected to the floor. Because when we get to that cow face pose, we're going to hit it like twice, but sometimes less is more. So if you're already feeling like your knees were a little cranky this morning or your hips were feeling a little tender, maybe there's places where you can go lighter for the first go round and then get into your cow face pose at a bigger depth if that feels better to do just a little bit less of that work. All right, one more little swish of those knees side to side, and then step your feet out in front of you to a soft ragdoll fold position. So knees are still pretty bent, maybe feet are slightly wider. Reach up and over, and we're gonna raise the roof. So rather than taking that big forward fold, we're gonna lift the ribs up and then flip your palms like you're trying to push your palms up towards the ceiling. You want to feel the back of your body light up, want to feel the ribs get energized and lit up. So imagine you're trying to push the ceiling up with your palms, heels are nice and anchored on the ground. Give one more nice big push. And then when you're ready, release that push and just fold yourself over your legs as soft as you like. Take a nice big breath in here. Breathe into the back of your body. Exhale nice and slow. And now in this more closed in space of your body, see if you can listen into the sound of your breath. Take one more breath. And then slowly start to walk yourself up and out of that fold. We're going to lean back into the sits bones. We're going to take a bigger windshield wipers just to bring a little heat to the hips. So step your heels closer, but feet wider, and then big windshield wipers as you roll across the glutes. So we want that bit of hip movement. So as you roll to one side, the opposite side hip kind of lifts and reaches away from the floor. Beautiful. One more big swish of those knees side to side, and then we're going to step it in. So we're going to think like kind of a half easy seat, kind of a half malasana. So right foot's going to step in, left foot's going to get externally rotated. So what that looks like for me is this is just kind of the way that most people kind of sit on the floor. So just find a position that's comfortable. What we want is we want our elbow to be able to rest so that we can grab our earlobes. So that's what we're shooting for. So find a nice comfortable position, something you could sit in and your elbow can rest so you don't have to effort too much. And then you're going to take thumb and index finger and you're going to grab your earlobe and you're going to give a little bit of a pinch, a little bit of pressure. Don't hurt yourself, but a little bit of a pinch. And then if you like that sensation, you'll do little micro circles with your fingertips. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here, just pinching, maybe rolling. Noticing just that lovely little bit of movement of the skin and connective tissue that the earlobes allow. Notice any little sounds that you hear, especially this nice and close to your ear. Take one more breath, and then we're going to move on up. So we're going to stay in this position, but now we're going to take our little pinchy fingers and we're going to come right up to the top of the ear. So think where the crest of your ear is. Thumb might go underneath the little divot of your ear, and then the index finger will be on top. So we're going to pinch right at the top of the ear, give a little pinch, and then again, if it feels good, you'll do that little pinch and roll maneuver, but only if that feels good. And then even up here, notice you can feel that little bit of cartilage and that movement of skin and connective tissue. Take one more breath. And now we're going to move up. And so on this side, I can't get that far in because of my microphone. But what it's going to be is what I like to call the little triangle before the little jet out. So as you move down towards the front line of your ear, there's that little triangle of skin and cartilage. See if you can pinch that little triangle of skin and cartilage. So I'm doing it on the other side just so you can see, but we're going to work both sides. So grab that little skin cartilage, give it a little pinch, relax into your breath. If that feels good, you'll do that little pinch and roll. Nice. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release that hand, maybe give your fingers a little twinkle. We're going to lean back into the sit bones and we're going to readjust our seat and sneaky. So we're in that comfortable seat and now we're just going to work the hips on the other side. So readjust your legs and then we're going to come back to pinching the earlobe on the other side. So that bottom lobe, get that big, thick bit of skin, give it a pinch, maybe a little roll. Focus your breath and just notice any sounds that you hear here. Lovely. One more little pinch and roll there, and then we're going to move up to the top little crest of the ear. So think of that topmost part, grab underneath that little curve, give it a little pinch, and then if it feels good, you'll do the little pinch and roll. I believe this point maybe addresses allergies, but don't quote me on that. Take one more little pinch and roll here, and then we're going to move up to that front little triangle point. And this, I think, is for just general wellness and anxiety. So finding that little front triangle, give it a little pinch, little squeeze, maybe move your fingers around just a little bit. Nice. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release that, give your fingers a little twinkle, and then we're going to lean back into the sits bones and come right into our cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. And then we're going to take some flaps of our wings just to bring some movement back into the hips. Notice any sound that's getting made here. Beautiful. One more little flap of those wings, and then let your knees relax down just as much as feels good. Come into a light fold. So it doesn't need to be extreme. Just fold forward slightly and then walk your hands out and away from you. So you found the depth of your fold. Now walk your hands forward. Think about pressing into your palms and almost imagine that you're lifting the front of your body space away from the soles of your feet. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to walk it over to the left. So just a slight angle. So take one big step with your left hand, your right hand, just to find that little bit of an angled position, and then breathe into the right side of your body. Nice. Walk through center, over and off the other side. Reach through your arms. Notice the left side of your body. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, walk back to center. Take one more breath. And then think about pulling the abdominal muscles in. So almost as if you're trying to pull the ribs backwards, pull the abdominal muscles in, drag your fingers, draw your way up with control, grab the outsides of your thighs, help your knees come together. We're going to spin it around into a tabletop position. So take your time as you come around into your tabletop position. And then as you come around, just take a second to notice the texture of the mat underneath your hands. And then we're just going to do little swipes like cats or dogs do. So you're just going to swipe your right hand on the mat. Notice the sound that it makes. All right, then set that hand down, switch over to the other side, swipe your left hand. Notice the sound that it makes, and then other little variables that may show up. One more little swipe of that hand, and then curl both sets of toes under and start to find that nice rocking forward and back. So butt back towards the heels, shoulders back in line with the wrists, and then you move here at a depth that feels good to you. Just take a couple of rocks forward and back. Awesome. Now, the next time you pull your butt back towards your heels, you're getting that stretch to the toes, to the bottoms of the feet. You come back as far as feels good. Take a moment, take a breath. And then here we're going to blow 3 raspberries. So like little kids do, you put your tongue between your lips and you. So we're going to take a nice big inhale. But what we want to do is listen into that sound. You want to listen to the vibration of your lips and your tongue. So we're going to really tune in and pay attention. So take your nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, tongue between the lips and let it out. Take a nice big inhale. Tongue between the lips, let it out. Sometimes that little vibration makes my nose to itch. Take one more breath. Let it out with that raspberry. And then when you're ready, lift your butt up away from your heels, release your toes, move right into puppy pose or heart melting pose. Hands are going to walk to the front edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead melt down. Make as much space for your shoulders as feels appropriate to your body, and then sink everything down. Come back to listening into your breath. Notice your inhalation. Notice your exhalation. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk it back up to tabletop position and move right into our spinal balance. So left hand, right leg are just going to slide out. Start by just leaving the limbs touching the ground. Slide it right back in with control. Switch over to the other side. Left leg, right hand are just going to slide out. Slide it back in. And now we're going to stretch out and then lift. So left hand, right leg are just going to slide out. Give a nice quick little lift. Notice how your body feels. Release it down with control, slide it back in, switch over to the other side. Left leg, right hand, slide out, give a quick little lift, lower with control, slide it back in, and then see which felt more stable, keeping the limbs on the ground or lifting them up. And that's where you'll choose your last one. Slide the limbs out. If it feels good, you stay here. If it feels good to engage those back muscles, focusing on that little bit of balance, gazes down at the floor, notice your breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, with control, release it down, and we're going to switch to the other side. One side might be different than the other for you. So you might choose here to keep the limbs on the ground or lift up. So you let this side be what this side is. Gazes down at the floor. Notice your breath. Lovely. When you're ready, release nice and slow and controlled. Big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Move right back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back toward your heels. Soften your heart down, soften your forehead down. And then at this moment, think about that throat chakra, the space of the throat, the ear center. But now we're going to focus just into the back of the throat. So as you soften into your extended child's pose, let your forehead melt down, and then see if you can just notice the back of your neck. Breathing in and breathing out, and seeing if you can tune in and feel any movement there. All right, now we're going to stay nice and low, and this is going to be working on opposite side. So I'm going to say a lot of stuff, and then we'll get to it. So we're going to tap our right hand lightly on our mat, but we're going to try to listen as hard as we can with our left ear. So you're going to let your forehead relax, start to tap your right hand on your mat, and try to focus into your listening in your left ear. All right, now let your right hand come to stillness. Take a breath. Now tap your left hand, but try as hard as you can to mostly listen through your right ear. Beautiful. One more little tap of that left hand, and then let that come to stillness. Take a breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly start to lift your way up and out of that tabletop position. We're going to walk the knees in, so knees are back in line with the hips. Now we're going to pick the right leg up and out to the side and just draw some circles with that thigh in the hip socket. So you go as far or as big as this movement wants to be in your body, but try to keep the upper body and the torso fairly stable. So we're not trying to rock the whole tabletop around, just moving mostly out of the leg. And then if your leg is circling in one particular direction, if it feels good and you like to reverse, go the other way. Beautiful. Now, before we get done with this leg, we're going to take 3 taps of the right knee behind the left knee. So you're going to take that right knee, tap it behind the left, pick it back up, tap it behind the left, pick it back up. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Tap it behind the left, pick it up, set that right foot down, pick your left knee up, and then just start to draw some nice, generous circles with that leg. How big those circles are, it just depends on what your body feels like this morning. Beautiful. One more circle around, and then if you like reversing directions, go the other way. Nice. And then before we get done with that leg, we're going to take that left knee, tap it behind the right, and pick it back up. Tap it behind the right, pick it back up. Do that one more time. Tap it behind the right, pick it back up, set that leg down, pick up the right leg, take your right knee, tap it behind your left, let it settle down, and then gently, gently, gently draw your butt back just a little bit, maybe 2 inches, and then bring it back forward. Draw your butt back just a little bit and bring it forward. Do that one more time. Back just a little bit, bring it forward. Keep that little crisscross of your legs and bop your hips a little side to side. So with those knees in that little crisscross position, you might not got big range of motion, but just allow your butt to rock just a little bit. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, as you come to a neutral position, uncross your legs. We're going to switch over to the other side. So left knee is going to tuck behind the right. Pull your butt back just a little bit, and then bring the shoulders back in line with the wrist. Pull your butt back just a little bit and bring it back. Do that one more time. Pull your butt back just a little bit. Bring it back and then rock your hips a little side to side. Beautiful. One more little rock of those hips side to side. And then when you're ready, release your knees, come through tabletop position, both sets of toes curled under, draw your butt back towards your heels. We're going to keep most of our weight back towards our heels and then lift up into your down dog. So lift your butt up, but keep that weight back. Keep your butt back towards your heels. Keep your knees fairly bent. Let your chest and your forehead melt down. Take a nice big breath here. Before we start to walk up to the front end of our mat, I'm going to get real quiet and you're going to listen into the sound of the movement that happens as you walk yourself to the front end of your mat into a soft ragdoll fold. So when you're ready, start to walk your feet forward. Notice the sound. And then take a moment just to settle into that ragdoll fold. Let your spine relax. Let the back of your neck relax. Notice the sound of your breath here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, slow and controlled, roll your way up to a standing position. Take your time as you come up. Let your equilibrium return, readjust your clothes. And now we're going to start with bringing a lot of heat into the legs, but we're going to get a little bit fancy with our squat. So left hand, and this is proper left hand, but you're going to see it as my right hand. So I'm going to switch. Left hand is going to reach over and across. You're going to pinch that earlobe, get a little grab. Right hand is going to reach on top, grab your other earlobe, and you're going to pinch both earlobes. All right, now we're going to take it into some squatting. So feet are about hip width distance apart, but we're going to add a little bit of element of the breath, and we're going to add a little bit of element of the tongue. So I'm going to move a little bit closer to the screen just so you can see that you're going to suction your tongue to the roof of your mouth. So your tongue is going to be suctioned to the roof of your mouth. Mouth is going to be closed. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Get your little pinch of the earlobes, suction your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Once you've got all of that, we inhale as we lower down, and we exhale as we rise up. Tongue is suctioned to the roof of the mouth. Inhale, lower down. Exhale to rise up. How far you go is totally up to you. Starter position might be up here. Bigger position, especially if your knees and your hips allow, you'd sink all the way down and rise all the way back up. But we're using the breath to find that movement. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale as you rise up. And we're doing this about 14 times. So find a nice even pace. Go at a depth that works great in your body. By my count, I have one more to go. Don't worry if you didn't perfectly get 14. That's not necessarily the point. But then when you're ready to come up, release your arms. Take a moment just in a nice neutral, relaxed stance. Come back to your breath. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Notice your heart, especially if you went for that big squat, your heart rate might be up just a little bit. Now we're going to take it into a little bounce and let all of that energy find its way to the outer edges of your limbs. So bounce your heels. Let your skin move. Let your fat move. Notice the sound of your breath here. Notice the sound of your feet bouncing against your mat. Notice any other sounds that your body is making. And then when you're ready, let everything come to a stillness and notice the quiet. Nice. And then when you're ready, find your mountain pose. Feet pointing fairly forward. feet nice and anchored on the ground, lifting upward through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. This time you're going to listen to the movement that your body makes as you do this work. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. One more time through. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Press your palms together. Get a little bit of force between the two palms. Transfer your weight onto your left foot. We're going to externally rotate the right knee, finding a little bit of a tree pose here. You might choose to keep the toe on the ground. That's awesome. If you want to slide the foot up to the calf, take a second to find your balance. Focus your gaze. Notice your breath. One more breath. With control, releasing your foot from whatever position it's in, come right through your center point, transfer your weight onto the other foot, externally rotate the left knee. Maybe you keep the toe on the floor, maybe you slide the foot up. That's totally up to you. Focus your gaze, notice your breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, with control, release that foot down, let your hands come down at your sides with a little energy down into the fingers. But now we're going to do 3 heel lifts here. So inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor, just as high as you can control. Exhale and float your heels back down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. On this next inhale, we're going to lift up, hold, and we're going to tippy-toe walk our way to the back end of the mat. But as we tippy-toe walk, we're going to listen into the sound that our tippy-toe walking makes. So tippy-toe walk backwards. As you come to the back end of your mat, we're going to let the heels drop down. Take a nice big breath, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. We're going to walk it out to a plank position. So once your hands find the ground, start to walk yourself out to a nice plank. Nice plank is a relative term. Pause in your plank for just a moment and notice any sounds your body makes. And then when you're ready, release your knees, lower gently down onto your belly. We're going to take 3 low cobras here. So keep your elbows nice and close to the side of your ribs, but not so tight that you can't move. Inhale, lift your heart up just a little bit. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. See if you can hold a little bit of a lift. So maybe your arms are helping support this little bit of a lift, and you're going to gently turn your head side to side, but only turn your head as much as feels comfortable to you. Beautiful. One more little turn of the head side to side. And then as your head comes back through center, soften your way out of that low cobra. Push your way up into a tabletop position. Right leg is going to go straight out from the hip. We're going to do our cow face prep pose. So right leg is going to press out. Take your left toes, swing them over to the right. Tuck your right knee behind the left. And we're going to go back a little bit further than before. So pull your butt back as far as you can before you had to tip over and get into that full cow face pose. So pull yourself back just a little bit. Notice your hips, notice your butt. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift on up and out. We're going to unwind those legs and set up right to the other side. Left leg is going to shoot straight out from the hip. Right toes are going to swing over to the left. Left knee tucks behind the right. And then pull your butt back as far as you can before you tip over and your knees pick up. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift back up, unwind your legs, curl both sets of toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a nice forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, press your palms together. Put your weight onto your left foot. Turn your right foot out, slide it up. Take one breath. Set that foot down, transfer your weight onto your right foot. Turn your left foot out. Slide your left foot up if that feels good. Take one breath. Beautiful. And then set that left foot down and let your hands come down at your side. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Right hand is going to pick you up. And then just for a moment here, we're going to tune in to the throat and the neck. So arms are reaching out away from each other. Gaze is past the front left hand, and think specifically front left middle finger. So take a moment to just notice your focused gaze. And then we're going to just do this tiniest little double chin. So focus your gaze on that left middle finger and then gently just draw your chin back just slightly so you feel a little action in your neck and your throat, and then take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release whatever you have going on with your neck. Take it into peaceful warrior. Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up, look towards the sky. Awesome. And then we're going to cartwheel the hands down to the ground. So spin your hands down, pivot your back heel, come to runner's lunge. Once you've got your runner's lunge, readjust anything that you need to, but right hand's going to stay down, left hand's going to reach up nice and high, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Left hand plants down, step back to plank, pause in your plank. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control onto your belly. One cobra here as high as you like. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up to a tabletop position, curl the toes under, exhale up to down dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. This time as we move through that same flow, but to the other side, you're going to tune in and listen to the sounds that your body makes. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, left hand picks you up. Gaze past that right front middle finger. Do that little tiny double tuck of the chin. Release that tiny tuck of that double chin. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up, peaceful warrior. Cartwheel the hands down to the ground, pivot your back heel so you come into your runner's lunge. Beautiful. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches for a twist. Right hand down, plant your palms, step back to plank. Bring the knees down or lower in chaturanga if you like a chaturanga. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up to a tabletop position, stay here. Now we're going to go through our cow face pose just one time real quick. So we're not going to stay there for any extended amount of time, but you're just going to tune in. Now, if you felt like you would prefer just that preparatory position, you'll stay with the prep. Swing your left toes over to the right. Reach your right knee behind your left knee. Pull your butt back towards your heels and then see how it feels to sit all the way back. And this is one of those places where it might feel better to sit on a block or support the thighs with the block. Left leg is on top. That means right hand is going to reach up and overhead. Left hand is going to meet behind. No worries if you can't grab this time, but if you like to grab your strap, go ahead and take a second to do it and just find a little bit of work through the upper body. Notice your heart space. Notice the back of your throat and your neck. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Lovely. Release your arms. Float yourself forward. We're going to come back and take it on the other side. So come to your tabletop, unlace your legs, and then we'll set ourselves up to the other side. Left leg is going to extend out. Right toes are going to swing over to the left. Tuck that left knee behind. See how it feels to pull your butt back, and then see how it feels to come all the way back. With that right leg on top, left hand is going to be the top hand, reaching back and around, finding the handhold that works good for you. Use your strap if you like to. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release your arms, flip your way up and out of this position in a way that makes the most sense to you. Unlace your legs. And then just for a second, give your tail a little wag, bop your hips a little side to side, make sure everything feels okay. And then you'll know if you were there and you were like, oh, that was like a little too much, then that might be enough for you. And you might go just to the preparatory position next time through. But if that felt good, curl your toes under, exhale up, take one downward facing dog, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles and roll up to standing. Take your time as you come up. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back. Inhale, arms up. As you reach your arms up, hands are going to clap up and overhead. Inhale, reach up and clap. Exhale, fold yourself down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Right hand is going to pick you up. Gaze past that front left middle finger. Double tuck your chin. Release that double tuck of the chin. Drop the right hand. Lift the left hand up. Circle the hands around and down to the ground. Pivot your back heel so you find your runner's lunge. Right hand down, left hand reaches for a twist. Left hand down, plant the palms, step back to plank. Lower the knees, rotate the eyes of the elbows, lower down. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale up to down dog or through your table to down dog. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to get kind of fancy. We're going to pick the right leg up. As you pick the right leg up into three-legged dog, you're going to bend the left knee, float the left knee down to the ground as you keep the right leg lifted. And now we're going to tuck the right knee behind the left as you swing the left foot out to the side. Beautiful. And then if it feels good, you're going to come back to that cow face pose. Pull your butt all the way back or just go to the depth that feels good to you. And then find your arm position. Use your strap. I like to take my strap, just dangle it down the back, re-grab with the other hand, and then start to creep the hands together to a depth that works good for you. Once you've got your hand hold, you can also grab your shirt. That's a method some people use. I prefer my strap personally. Once you've got your hands and your legs in a good position, we're going to take 3 little folds forward. So keep your arms in that nice, happy position. Lean forward just a little bit. Think about lifting through the crown of your head as you pull yourself back up and out. Beautiful. Lean your heart forward just a little bit. Lift up nice and slow. We're going to do that one more time. Lean your heart forward just a little bit. Lift up nice and slow. Release your arms. Flip yourself forward. Unwind your legs. Find your tabletop. Curl the toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Left leg is going to come up nice and high, 3-legged dog. We're going to bend the right knee. Float the right foot down as you tuck your left knee behind the right. Swing your feet out to a comfortable position. Pull your butt back towards your heels. Readjust your legs as needed, which could also include using your yoga block. And then when you're ready, grab your strap if you're using your strap. Readjust your hands. And don't worry about overthinking it. There's no right or wrong here. So just find a position that you can breathe comfortably in. And then once you've got it, lean forward just a little bit. And then come back up with control. Lean forward just a little bit. Come back up with control. Do that one more time. Lean forward just a little bit. Come back up with control. If you're using your strap, release your hands, set it off to the side, and we're going to flip ourselves forward into that tabletop position. As we unwind the legs, take a second, bop your hips a little side to side, make sure everything feels all right. Nice. And then when you're ready, butt comes to center, curl the toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. We're going to move right into our tree position from here. So as you gather your hands to heart center, pick up your right foot, find a tree on the right side that feels right to you. And now we're going to take a humming exhale to finish our pose. So as you hold on to this tree pose, which may include using a wall or a chair, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, let out a hum. Awesome. And then once you've completed that humming breath, set your foot down, give everything a little bump and a shake if it needs it. And then we're going to take it right over to the other side. Transfer your weight onto that foot, lift your left foot up into the tree pose that makes the most sense to you. Get comfortable in your balance first, which may include using a wall. And then take your big inhale. And as you exhale, let out a nice low hum. Once you've completed that humming exhale, set your left foot down, release your hands, pause just for a moment in that silence. Nice. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. We're going to roll down into our little ball of yarn. So bend your knees, pick up your heels, tuck yourself down, tuck chin to chest. Take a big inhale here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, sit back onto your butt. We're going to come into our cobbler's pose or back to that butterfly position. So bring your butt down, soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. The shape of your diamond is going to be the shape that feels the most comfortable in your body. So it doesn't need to look like mine. Your feet might be much further away. They might be much closer. So make sure you set yourself up in a way that you sit comfortably and are breathing in and out without effort. Once you found it, we're going to fold forward just a little bit. Once you found the edge of your fold, you're going to walk your hands out and reach out in front of you. Beautiful. Take a nice big breath. As you walk your hands over to the left, you're going to make little pat, pat noises with your hands. So you're going to, like you're doing a little stomp or a little walk. So make a little noise as you walk your hands over to the left. Once you found your edge, soften your hands. Take a big breath. Make a little noise, walk your hands through center, over and off to the right. Once you found your edge, take a breath. Beautiful. Make a little noise as you walk your hands back to center. And then we're going to do that same little pat, pat, pat noise as we walk ourselves up and out of that fold. And then we're going to grab the outsides of the thighs, help your legs come together, curl your tailbone under. We're going to lower down nice and slow and controlled. So take your time as you come all the way on down. Once you've come down to the ground, step your feet in so they're about feet close to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart. So get yourself set up so we can do a bridge position, hands down alongside the hips, palms facing down. We're working with the breath here. So we're going to exhale as we lift the butt up, inhale to lower back down. Exhale to lift up, inhale to release back down. 3 more just like that, noticing the breath. Exhale to lift, inhale to release. Last one. And then as your hips settle down, right leg is going to come across the left into a figure 4 configuration. Right hand is going to find the inner thigh, and you're just going to gently press the inner thigh open. Pause there and take a breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to release that press of the inner thigh. Hands are going to come out just slightly wider. So think 45 degrees or anatomical position, but the palms are facing down. And now we're going to rock the figure 4 over to the left. So that right foot is going to drop over to the left. So a little twist in our figure 4. Once you've let that foot land down on the ground, left hand is going to find the inner thigh and gently push into the inner thigh. If you hit any point there where you're doing that work and it doesn't feel good to your knee, lighten up. Take one more breath. Release your hand from the inner thigh. We're going to pick the figure 4 through center and over to the other side. So now it's going to be that sort of twisted roots or knee dropping twist. So if you get over there and that doesn't feel good to your knee or your hip, you're going to unhook the legs so this feels like a reasonable position to be in. Take up the knees over to the right just as far as feels good. Left shoulder is anchored down. If it feels okay to do so, turn your head to the left. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then on your next inhale, head comes to center, legs return to center. And then we're just going to take 3 lifts of the left leg. So you're going to go hands free, lifting the left leg up, releasing it back down with control. Lifting the left leg up, release it back down with control. Do that one more time. Lift the left leg up, release it with control. Step the right foot off the left, set your figure 4 up to the other side. So left leg is going to come across the right. Once you've got your way there, left hand to that inner thigh, gently push into the inner thigh. Notice how that feels. Release your left hand, but keep the left foot in that figure 4 shape. Left foot's going to drop over to the right. So we're going to take our figure 4 for a little twist. Once that right foot touches down to the ground, take a second to anchor your left shoulder. Notice your breath. And then if it feels good, right hand to the left inner thigh, gently push open, but just make sure that your knee feels happy about that. Beautiful. Release your left hand from the inner thigh, float your legs through center. And now we're going to take our figure 4 over to the other side. So if it feels comfortable to do so, you'll keep your foot stacked. If it feels better to release the foot, do what feels safest in your body. Once you've got those knees dropped down, right shoulder is anchored, head turns to the right, and come back to your breath. Nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Bringing the legs back to center or resetting your figure 4 if you unhook that leg. And then once you come back to center, hands free, lift the right leg up, release it back down with control. Lift the right leg up, release it with control. Do that one more time. Lift the right leg up, release it with control. Step the left leg off the right, back to that hip preparatory position. Slide your hands in so they're a little closer to the hips. 3 times we're going with the breath. Exhale, lift your hips up away from the floor. Inhale to release back down. Control it with the breath. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale to release. One more time through. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, release. Right knee is going to pull into the chest. Left leg is going to go nice and long. We're going for a big, quick supine twist. So as that left leg finds the end of your mat, take that right knee over and across the body. Reach your right arm out. Look to the right. Take a nice big breath in. And then right away, pull the right knee back into your chest. Bring the left knee into meet. So both knees come in for a nice little squeeze, and then hold onto your left knee. Let the right leg go long. Once that right leg touches the ground, take it over and across the body. Open up into your supine twist. Turn your head to the left. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest. Right knee comes into meet. With the knees hugged into the chest, just hang out there for a second and notice the sounds around you. Start to ask yourself, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come to constructive rest, which can be really supportive to the low back? Would it feel good to take a more traditional shape or roll to one side or flip over onto your belly? And then especially if you're in a cooler space, take a second, grab your blanket, your socks, your sweater, get yourself all cozied up. Take a second to just kind of find that settling shape. And then once you feel like you kind of know where you're going, you're just going to start to listen. So I'm going to get quiet. You're going to get comfortable and just listen into the sounds around you. Before we settle into that real deep quiet, tune in just for a moment and notice the head posture, the back of your neck, and the front of your throat. And now we're going to do like we're doing just a tiniest little double chin. So notice if your chin has a tendency to tip slightly upward and it almost looks like you can see the corner of the ceiling above your head, see if you can tip your chin down just slightly. So now your gaze is more angled towards the front corner of the wall or the ceiling above you. So see if you can find that little tip of the chin and then come back to your soft and comfortable position and listen back in. Just notice the sounds around you. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, or if your day requires it, start to gently reawaken. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, invite any little bit of movement in that allows you to reawaken from your Shavasana in a really loving and kind way. But as you start to reawaken and gently move the body, see if you can tune in and just notice the little sounds that your body makes. And then as we start to find our way to our big good morning stretch, take your time as you walk your feet nice and long. Take your time as you gently lift your arms up and overhead. And then before we come into that big yawning stretch, pause for a moment, find a slightly softer position of the big good morning stretch. And then we're going to imagine up. So rather think about the fact that the body has no space within it. So even though we often focus on this outward flesh of the body, think about how this entire unit of your body is full and just entirely filled up. And then imagine that filled up space of your body, and then reach and stretch. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes, stretching through the inside and reaching outward. So find that nice feeling of being filled up and taking up space inward and taking up space outward. Take a nice big breath in. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release and start to find your way to a comfortable seated position. Could be Sukhasana if you like Sukhasana, any other position that might feel good. And then we're going to finish with just a little bit of a hand gesture or a yoga mudra. So we're going to take our middle finger and you're going to tuck the middle finger in so that your thumb can find that second notch. So we're going to put our thumb onto the second notch of the middle finger. Both hands are going to find that. And then you're just going to flip palms facing upwards and relax your hands down and just let the 3 other fingers just release as long as they possibly can without too much effort. So you don't have to like Spider-Man your way into it. So just let your hands relax. Soften your shoulders, soften your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Notice your left ear. Notice your right ear. Notice both ears at the same time. Notice the front of your neck and your throat. Notice the back of your neck and your throat. And then we're going to keep our hands mostly as they are, but releasing the thumb from that second notch, we're just going to bring the thumb to the middle finger tip. So thumb and middle finger are going to touch in the tip. Relax your hands. Take one more breath. And then on your next inhale, gather your hands together at heart center and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Tuesday. You guys are amazing.